The word samsara does not mean family. It just means cycling. Who you are right now is a product of certain cycles. There are many ways to look at it. The cycles of the sun, the cycles of the moon, and various other cycles in the universe, we are a product of that. Only because our mothers' bodies were in sync with the cycles of the moon, we are born here. So we are a product of cycles. Our idea of time is cyclical. If the planet spins once, we say it's a day. If the moon goes around, we say it's a month. If the planet goes around the sun, we say it's a year. Our idea of time itself is cyclical. If it was all like this, going like this, you wouldn't know what is time, because there are no markers anywhere. If the planet was just going straight somewhere, would you know what is time? Only because it's in cycles, you're able to decipher as to what is time. You're able to measure a certain length of time. And your life is a certain amount of time. And it is going in cycles because it's a product of this. Solar system is like the potter's wheel which has generated this. So time and the cycles of time. Either you can be trapped in the cycles of time or you can ride the cycles of time. If you're trapped in the cycles of time, we say you're in samsara. Because life becomes cyclical and it keeps repeating. Psychologically, physiologically definitely there are cycles. The monthly cycles in a woman's body are related to the moon. There are other cycles which are related to the sun, which are not so obvious as the cycles of the moon, but they're happening. If you observe your life carefully, you will see it is cyclical. Same things are repeating themselves in different colors, but same things are repeating themselves over a period of time. You can actually look whether it is 12 years, it's 6 years, it's 3 years, it's happening at some point. If it is happening in very short cycles, you are heading towards a psychological breakdown. If it's happening in long enough cycles, you are just suffering boredom. So if you're trapped in these cycles, we call it samsara. If you ride the cycles towards your liberation, then we say this is sannyas. Sannyas need not necessarily mean not having a family. Samsara need not necessarily mean that you have a family. You can be a sannyasi and still be in a samsara of your own. You need not be married. By yourself, you could be wrangled up by yourself. If you get married, extra help you get. People are alone and they're quite wrapped up by themselves, they don't need anybody's help. They're doing fine by themselves, their own samsara. Is it happening or no? Single people are in their own samsara or no? They're into their own chakkar going. When you get married, at least you can blame it on somebody, it's because of her I'm like this, or because of him I'm like this. So these words have gotten related to certain aspects of life because generally it's believed that you can be trapped in samsara only when you have a family. Because once you have a family, you have to earn certain amount of money, you have to do certain things, children are there, means certain things have to be managed, so things become cyclical. When things are going in cycles, it feels that everything is better organized. If it was not going in cycles, every day is a new day. With children around you, every day new day, you can't deal with it. It's better it is happening in some system. So you will aspire for a cycle. You will not want new things to be happening every day. You want some order, you want some expected things to happen. Surprises look like disasters. This happened one day. Shankaran Pillai was going home. And suddenly he thought, he's done nothing for his wife in the last few years. So, he bought a huge bunch of red roses and went home and knocked on the door. And when she opened the door, with a big grin on his face, he tried to give the roses to her. She just blew up. She just blew away and she said, "You fool, you know since morning the tap has been leaking, the dog has been sick, and the children had a food fight, I've been cleaning the whole place, and now you have the courage to get drunk and come home?" So surprises can be disasters because you aspire for order more than excitement. Once the number of balls that you're juggling are too many, you aspire for order, you don't care for excitement anymore. Yes. If you had 5 children at home instead of 1 or 2, then you would aspire for everything to happen like clockwork. You don't want one extra thing to happen. You don't want anything new to happen in your house. So this is samsara. You want to go in cycles, you're aspiring to be in cycles because cyclical, at least there is a comfort, you know what's coming next. So once you go in cycles, cycle means a circle. If I say you're going in circles, it simply means that you're not getting anywhere. So in the cycles of time, if you're trapped in the cycles of time, you're not getting anywhere but going through the same thing. Because you have poor memory, that's the only safety. Because you have poor memory, you do not realize the same things are being repeated. Suppose your memory opened up to many lifetimes and you realize you've been doing the same stupid things over and over again, you got excited about the same little things again and again, you would feel utterly silly, isn't it? Within the cycle, that cycle means so much. Looks like it's everything. If you break that cycle and something beyond the cycle becomes apparent to you, suddenly what's within the cycle is so limited and so meaningless. The relationships, the activity, the thoughts, the emotions, everything that you held as everything in your life, suddenly, So this is sannyasa. That is, you've broken the cycles of time. You're riding the cycles. You're not trapped in the cycles of time. So can I do this within the family? You can, but nobody need to know. If they know, they won't be able to live with you unless they are also like. People are looking for some bondage. People don't come together seeking freedom, they're coming together seeking bondage, isn't it? If they know that you're not bound by anything, it'll be dangerous to live with a person like that. So, once you've broken the cycles of time, consciously you can be part of it when you want to be. But when you're not, you're not. So being a sannyasi inside a family situation is not that it's not possible. This is not being uncaring, this is not being unconcerned. This is just being free from a certain situation. There are many people who live in the family and they don't care a damn. That's different That is because they're in their own samsara, they're not involved with other samsara. They're in a smaller cycle of their own Being absolutely involved and not being entangled, that is the way to freedom, that is the way to liberation. If you're not involved, you may be just uncaring, you will be in your own small chakkar of your own. You will see people who seem to be not involved in anything around them, Little things about themselves are very important for them. If you disturb that, they'll go crazy. Yes? Have you seen? They don't care if whatever the family, but their coffee must be right. Coffee doesn't come, they'll go crazy. So they'll have smaller cycles. So being a sannyasi within a family situation, it is not that it's not possible, it's a bigger challenge. If you're a sannyasi by yourself, nobody around you, it's a lesser challenge because you don't have to carry anything with you. When Gautama, the Buddha, was asked, is it good to walk in company or alone? He's a very brutal man. He said, it's better to walk alone than to walk with a fool. He's saying, who else will marry you? You're not getting… Who else will marry you? Unless he is a fool, why will he be with you? Better to walk alone than to walk with a fool. It's a loaded statement. In America, everybody drinks water with 3/4 of the tumbler being full with ice cubes. Now what I say will be unpopular. You drink water only within 4 degrees variation upwardly and downward. In America, everybody drinks water with 3/4 of the tumbler being full with ice cubes. Now what I say now will be unpopular. When in the yogic culture, if you are a yogi, if you're on the path of the inner transformation, you want to transform your system to another dimension of possibility, then you drink water only which is within 4 degrees variation upwardly and downward. That is, your normal body temperature is somewhere around 36 degrees centigrade. So you can drink up to 40 degrees or 32 degrees. This is the best way to consume. If you are a student, that is, you want to absorb knowledge, you're not looking for transformation, you're only interested in absorbing knowledge, then you must drink within 8 degrees variation. That is, you can drink up to 44 degrees and 28 degrees. If you are a householder who is not interested in any transformation or learning, you just want to manage your wife and children and husband, that's all your thing is, then you can drink up to 12 degrees variation from both sides. Beyond that is not considered conducive for anybody. So that's an unpopular thing to say, but it's important that whatever you consume is somewhere in the range of the body temperature, not too far away from that, because it will disturb the way the water within the system behaves by consuming water or any substance which is very far away from the body temperature. I know the ice cream loving people and will scream at me now. I'm just telling you the ideal conditions. How many of you want to live in the ideal range? Or being conscious of it wherever possible, staying there is a good thing to do. If you don't feel thirsty, if you don't drink water, nothing is going to happen, you're going to be fine. It's only in America you will die if you don't drink water. Nowhere else people simply drink water. When they get thirsty, they drink water, otherwise they're fine, even in a desert. It's only in America, in cold climate, everybody's carrying a bottle and sipping continuously because the marketing machines have done this to them that they must drink lots of water. Excessive consumption of water, especially if it's done in small sips, body absorbs. When it absorbs, the sodium levels, which are very delicately balanced, will drop. The rest of the body also is affected but may not be noticeable. But in the brain, sodium levels dropping will lead to swelling of the brain. This does not mean your brain is growing. Swelling means it's a kind of sickness, okay? Not expansion of the brain, it's swelling up because of lack of sodium content. So because there's not enough sodium, more water goes into the brain, trying to supply the required sodium to keep the balance. So more water in your brain means you will slosh. Psychological imbalances will come. See, if you drink lots of water at one go, body will decide how much to absorb, how much to throw out. But if you keep sipping through the day, body kind of gets deceived and tends to absorb more water than it should. But let's say right now you drink 2 liters of water, all of it is not going to go into the system. What is needed, it'll take, rest of it will be shunted out. Nobody need to drink water simply because you think it's a good thing to do. When you feel thirsty, you must drink water just to ensure you're drinking enough. Drink 10% more than what you actually need, a couple of cups more, just to ensure that you don't drink less. You have a certain amount of time before you can drink, that it's not an emergency. At the same time, when you need water, when you're thirsty, if you don't drink, it'll cause damage to the system. The damage to the heart is immense when the water that is needed is not there in the system. But when I say water, it is not just about drinking liquid water, you must eat high water content foods. If you eat a fruit, it's nearly 90% water. Vegetables and other things are over 70% water. When you consume food, at least it must be level with the percentage of water content in your own body. So any food that you eat should be at least 70% water content. So this is why vegetables, fruits must be part of your diet so that it is there.
In a world full of cuts, short videos, and distractions, you chose to stay and listen until the end. That already says a lot about your willingness to look deeper. Drop your city in the comments, and if you'd like, subscribe and share this video with someone who's also not afraid to think. Thank you, a big hug to you, and see you in the next video.